bittersweet and I'm walking slow. Sensitive, feel the afterglow. Looking for things that I can't control. Fear from my past, cause it always shows. Do I wanna try? Can I let it go? Running from the past, wanting to be sure. Chaos in my mind, constant deja vu. But every time, it comes back to you. Whoa, I'm still falling. Whoa, but it tastes bittersweet. Whoa, I keep on falling. Whoa, I like the taste of it.
Hello everyone and welcome to the FPL GameWeek 37 deadline stream. How you guys doing? I know it's been a minute since we last streamed / uploaded. I believe the last time we uploaded was GameWeek 31, but I've been very busy with starting university and exams and all that stuff, so we should be able to put up a lot more uploads over the last couple of weeks of the season and taking you guys home for the end of the FPL year and then looking also ahead to the World Cup that is coming up in the off season. So this is a deadline slash reaction stream. So we're just going to be going through how we got on last week, having a look at some ranks, discussing some key points with the upcoming game week. Shortly, I believe the deadline is in around an hour or so. And we'll just be discussing players to target and whatnot to help you guys try and create the best FPL teams for the last couple of weeks. Also, leave a comment in the chat who you guys are going for as a captain. Obviously, Salah injured in the FA Cup final, which is big news. I don't think he's going to be available for the weekend. So, who are you guys going for captain? What are your transfer plans for the upcoming game week and everything else? So, having a look at our team here, as we see, we had a massive week in Game Week 36, 175 total points with the bench boost play, which was very nice to see. We did take a -4 point hit. We made 3 transfers, which were going for Ben Foster in goals, which paid off because he did fairly well. We went with Wilfried Zaha, and I believe we went for the double Chelsea defence and Alonso and Thiago Silva, which didn't massively pay off, but overall had a fairly strong week regardless. Average of 79, game week rank of 18k is fairly promising. Schmeichel in goals had 8, he did fairly well. I believe he got a clean sheet in the second game against Norwich and an extra point for some saves. That was nice to see. Laporte got a goal for 14, and then Robertson and Thiago Silva didn't do much. Marcus Alonso did play against Leeds, which was nice to see. He only played 45 minutes against Wolves, but it was good to see him get the clean sheet there. In the midfield, very solid performance from the midfield. Mason Mount, the new signing, got 13 points. Wilfried Zaha with the single game week got a penalty, I believe. Against Watford, he got the triple bonus points. Kulusevski just got some points for playing. And the massive play for us was to go for Kevin De Bruyne on the captaincy. 30 points double to 60. He got himself 4 goals against Wolves. And obviously, being a Wolves fan, it was tough to watch, but you just got to put your hands up and say that's an elite performance. And yeah, he's just destroyed us, to be honest. Hello everyone, how's it going in the chat as well? Ings or Vardy? I mean, Vardy's projected a lot of points for this week. I like his form as well. Depending on whether Watkins plays the first game, I think he's around a 40% chance to play the first game, but he should be back for the second one. I think I'd go for the likes of Jamie Vardy. William, do you think Virgil van Dijk and Trent will start, or should I change one of them to Sessegnon? Who to captain? Son, Coutinho, Kane, Foden, Diaz, or Richarlison? Yep, so we'll pull up for you the... using Fantasy Football Fix, we'll look at the predicted lineups for the teams. This website's great for looking at all the predicted lineups. They're generally fairly accurate, and we do use them a lot on stream just to help people with who's going to be starting and whatnot. And it does help us a lot as well with not only transfer planning, but ordering the bench and whatnot. Alright, so pull it up. Well, while that's loading, we'll have a look at the forwards now. Harry Kane, of course, on the forward line, 15 points. That was nice to see. Obviously, not having Son in the team was a major thing why our rank wasn't even higher. Our rank wise wasn't even higher. Because we went for Kulusevski over him and De Bruyne in the midfield. And the risk of going Salah out to Kevin De Bruyne in a couple of weeks ago definitely paid off. Kevin De Bruyne did significantly outscore him in the last couple of weeks. And that captaincy is obviously huge. Ollie Watkins got himself a goal in one of the games, and then he got 2 points. Ella for 7. On the bench, Foster was very good with 14. Dennis blank with the 2, only played one game. Matip was one of the transfers that we made. We went Trent and White out for Robertson and Matip. Matip produced the goods with 11 points, and then Gordon just got the 5 for playing. Going back to that question about the Liverpool predicted starting lineup, I'll give you their predicted lineup according to Fantasy Football Fix. So the defense, Trent at a 98% chance of playing, and the predicted defenders are going to be Konate and Matip. They've got VVD right now at a 0% chance of starting. Konate 87%, Matip 100%, and Andy Robertson, a left back there, 100%. In terms of Sessegnon, he's got Burnley this evening. He's got a 100% chance of starting. So if you do want to make that transfer, that's the percentage chances. Also on the who to captain, Son, Coutinho, Kane, Foden, Diaz, or Richarlison. We can have a look ahead to the fixtures as well and discuss some of the best captaincy options there. Subam, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, mate. Got Robbo out for Mikalenko and KDB for -4, or get Ings and leave KDB out. I think KDB's a great pick. If you could get him into your team, I'd definitely look to do that. You have Son and Kane and not on a free hit. So I'd still definitely consider KDB. Liverpool don't have the easiest fixtures in the world. Southampton away and Wolves at home. They're not necessarily nailed on clean sheets. I think Wolves at home is a fairly promising one, but Southampton away could be a little tricky. So you could definitely go the Everton route, and they've got some nice fixtures coming up and plenty of them. Achana, Salah to Jota or Diaz. I think it will once again depend on the lineup for Liverpool. Revisiting that now. They've got Diaz at the 75% chance to start. And Minamino as well on the right wing as the predicted starter, and Sadio Mane up top. So that's an interesting predicted front three from Fix. Obviously no Salah and no Jota currently in their predicted lineup. They've got him at just a 32% chance to start, so most likely coming off the bench. Yes, but their predicted front three, Minamino, Mane, Diaz. But just interesting, we'll see how accurate that is. They're generally pretty solid with this stuff. But for that reason, I'd have to go with Diaz as the preferred option there. Saka to Zaha for a -4. Definitely worth considering. Zaha's form's been excellent. He's got a great double this week. And even Manchester United at home, it's a very strong fixture. Palace actually seem to do fairly well against Manchester United based off past games as well. So I do think Wilfried Zaha for a -4, it is worth it because he just makes up the 4 points in simply playing in the 2 games over the double game week. Jeff Diaz thoughts, once again, sort of answer that in a prior question. I think he's a great pick as well. He should be starting. Obviously very cheap, great value. I would be looking for him. Thanos, in a wild card for the last 2 game weeks, who would you choose? Kane and Sessegnon and Maddison, or Vardy, Cancelo and Gordon? I think Maddison may not be worth the extra price compared to Gordon when you're looking at the midfield. I'd go Vardy, Cancelo, Gordon potentially. Obviously, Kane's a great pick, but I think Vardy, he's got the double game week, which is huge. Cancelo's a solid option. And, I mean, Anthony Gordon's great value. He could sneak an assist or a goal as well. Kai, do you think Trent and Robbo will start if City wins today and title race is over? I think Liverpool, they won't change their team massively based on how City goes. Personally, I still think they're going to be nailed on to play. Just because it's good to, even though they don't win the Premier League, they want to be preparing their players the best they can for the champs. So you still want to be keeping your minutes. You don't just want to not play for a couple of weeks and then come in for the first game and win the champs. So I think they should still start. That's just how I see it. Jeff, once again, your free hit: Pickford, Klein, Cash, Dean, Son, Gordon, Diaz, Mane, Richarlison, Kane, Ings. Yeah, that's a great team. 100%. Obviously capitalising on the double game weeks with Nathaniel Klein and Jordan Pickford there as well. Cash has got a double, Dean's got a double. And then Son and Kane for Tottenham. Been in excellent form, no doubt about that. And I think Richarlison and, Ings, mate, good picks all round. Fix have Mane and Diaz to be in the predicted starting front three, so I think those two are also very good options. Vardy or Kane on a free hit? On a free hit, I go for Vardy. Looking at Kane, he's got Burnley at home. I do think Vardy with the double fixture, even though Burnley at home's a solid one. The double game week with Vardy's form is tempting. Captain Zaha, a good decision. Interesting you say that because he is currently our captain with our team situation at the moment. And we will have a look at that very shortly. So yeah, with those, as always, keep dropping questions into the comments. We can always just go through them throughout the stream. There's the team. Fairly solid week for us. Obviously 175. That saw us get a huge green arrow. 98k now overall, which is a decent rank. Hopefully pushing high in the last 2 weeks. We don't have any chips remaining. So here is how the current starting 11 looks like. Schmeichel, of course, with the double. We have gone with the double up on the Liverpool defence, Robertson and Matip. I do think those two players are likely to start. And that's what Fix says as well. And then Alonso against Leicester at home. He has been getting a lot of minutes recently. I can actually double check that for anyone looking at Marcus Alonso or if he's currently in anyone's teams. So he's got a 100% chance to start with Fix, which is promising, of course. In the midfield, Anthony Gordon with a double. Wilfred Zaha and captaincy. He's been in excellent form. In the last, I believe we got him in round game week 35, so he's got himself 2 goals in his last 2. Fairly solid stuff. He's getting on the bonus points as well, which is nice to see. Gordon is good value. He's fairly cheap. He could come up with a goal and assist. Brentford at home and Palace at home are 2 excellent fixtures. The double Spurs with Kulu and Kane against Burnley. De Bruyne was a close captaincy option against West Ham away, but I think Zaha with the double, he does have a high projected points according to Fix for this game week. And Mason Mount's been in good touch, goal and assist in his last game against Leeds, and Leicester have been a bit leaky at the back, so that's why I've gone for him starting. Watkins is currently starting in our team, assuming that he actually won't play against Crystal Palace at home. Burnley at home in a single week, still fine. And then looking at the bench, Foster's there against Leicester at home, Thiago Silva against Leicester. Between Alonso and Thiago Silva, we're obviously going to go with Alonso for the extra attacking potential, and then I believe Laporte will miss against West Ham, and obviously Dennis is missing out as well. We're not going to make any transfers this week. We're happy with the team as is. We've got a solid amount of double game week players. I believe 4 there. Obviously, with everyone on the free hit, hopefully we don't take a massive red arrow. But I do believe a lot of managers have used their free hit as well. Jeff, thanks a lot, bro. I'm going to captain Richarlison, but risky. Maybe it will pay off. Yeah, that's definitely a good pick. They've got 2 very good fixtures, so yeah, I'm glad I could help. Harry, do I transfer in cash for Alonso and play him with Kulusevski, or play Alonso and transfer in Zaha for Kulusevski? A tough decision. I'd probably go Zaha in instead of cash in. That's what I'd say. Gab, what's going on? Best back 4 in the Prem. Left back, Cancelo. Centre backs, VVD. And the second centre back, maybe Matip, and then right back Trent. But that second centre back spot with Matip is up for grabs with, it could be Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Laporte, Diaz. Honestly, any of those players in that second centre back spot, it's tough to pick one. What's the Fix website called? It's Fantasy Football Fix. If you use our code in the description, you can get 65% off the premium features, which is where you can see all the predicted lineups, predicted points, which is just massive for us. It's been huge for us this FPL season. It's been so helpful. So if you want to have a look at that, definitely use our code in the description to get that discount. Salah, Van Dijk, Pukki for -8. Son, Mikalenko, Vardy. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Going the 2 double gaming players, and Son has been on excellent form. And yeah, Salah and Van Dijk are missing Liverpool's next match for sure, at least. Gav, life on the line, you need one player to finish the penalty. Ronaldo, Lampard, Messi, or James Milner. Bro, Iceman James Milner. Yeah, Rudiger's gone. And I heard Lewandowski could potentially be going to Barca as well. And Tsimikas over Cancelo. Yeah, that's a lock. Maybe Tsimikas best penalty taker in the world with the ice in the veins in the FA Cup. Sell Saka or Kulusevski for Zaha? Alright, let's check it out. Bukayo Saka, his form hasn't been the greatest in the last couple of weeks. The last 3 weeks, just a 1 assist. And I haven't seen Arsenal, they got Newcastle away, Everton at home, compared to Burnley at home for Kulusevski, and he's got another solid fixture as well. But if you had Norwich away, I'd go for Kulusevski if I had to pick one of the two. Kulusevski's in a bit better form, and I think he does have slightly better fixtures. Son, Coutinho, Vardy, Cash, Mikalenko, who to captain? I'd go Vardy with the double game week. I think he's a great option. For fuck's sake. But yeah, that is the current situation at the minute with our team. Also, looking at Tottenham's predicted lineup. Who are they? So yeah, they've obviously got Burnley tonight in fairly shortly. Deadline's in the next 34 minutes. It looks like it's going to be the same front three, Kulusevski, Kane, Son. So that's obviously the main FPL assets that people have. Kulu at a 78% chance to start, which is still fairly high. Yeah, I think it'll be a fairly similar lineup for Tottenham as well, if anyone interested. And looking now towards the highest predicted point plays for this week. So obviously there's been a lot of captaincy questions as well. In terms of who to captain, I'm going to read out Fix's predicted points and stats for Game Week 37. So filter that by Game Week 37. Their top pick this week is Jamie Vardy. He's predicted to score 9. They got him at 9.4 points, which is significantly higher than anyone else. Pickford is actually second with 8.7. Which is interesting because a lot of people I know have Pickford or Schmeichel in goals at the current stage. Matty Cash as well with a predicted points of 8. He's the 4th highest this week. He's a good pick as well. I've seen a couple of people go for him, but if I had a pick between Vardy and Cash, I'd probably go for Jamie Vardy. Wilfried Zaha, the 5th highest predicted player for points this week. He's at 7.9, just behind Matty Cash. A couple of Villa defenders in Mings and Dean, and then Coutinho there as well, 7.4. Mikalenko at 7.3. He's another good option as well. Looking at some single game week players. Who is the highest? Reece James is the highest single game week player this week. He's got a 6.8 predicted points. So that'd be an idea in terms of captaincy. If you have Vardy in the team, I'd go for him. If not, Matty Cash, Wilfred Zaha all look like good picks as well. And then overall, I'm assuming no one's got too many wild cards or got a wild card left. Reece James is actually the highest predicted scoring player over the next two games, over the next two game weeks of the season, followed by Vardy, Son, and De Bruyne as well. If you don't have De Bruyne in the team, I think he'd be a good consideration. He's got Villa, I believe, in the last week, Villa at home. That could be an interesting game. I think West Ham and City tonight could be an interesting one. I think West Ham could potentially pull out a draw in this game. But if West Ham get a loss or a draw, it's going to take it right down to the last week of the season, and anything can happen in the last week. So definitely all the Liverpool fans would be hoping for West Ham to pull out a massive result in this one. As I say, for our team, I think Zaha's going to be our best captain. Villa away and Everton away. Two defences that haven't been the most solid this season. And I think, with Zaha's form, he's on the penalties, of course, as well. He's definitely going to be getting amongst it for Crystal Palace for sure. Ben says start Cancelo or Saka. I'll just check City's predicted team because Cancelo is another one that's been getting a lot of minutes as of late. So we'll see whether he's predicted to be in their starting 11. Yeah, so he's got a very high chance of being. He's got actually 100% chance of starting, according to Fix, in which case I'd probably start Cancelo. Against West Ham away, it is a tough fixture, but the City defence is fairly solid, and even if they don't get the clean sheet, he's always got that attacking potential. And Newcastle are looking like a solid outfit at the moment. Abhishek, which two to drop amongst Ben Davies, Pookie, Weghorst, Reece James? I'm assuming Reece James and Saka. Well, I'd definitely be keeping Reece James, that's for sure. I mean, amongst those players, I probably wouldn't drop Saka either. Ben Davies is predicted to start, and he's got a couple of good fixtures, so potentially Pookie and Weghorst. That'd be the two that I'd drop. I'm just going by process of elimination there. But City, it looks like they're going to be an interesting defence with Ake and Rodri potentially playing as the two centre-backs. Obviously no Laporte, no Diaz. So if anyone's tossing it between Laporte starting or not, I think he's highly unlikely to start. Zinchenko at left back, Gundogan and De Bruyne. It's good to see De Bruyne 88% chance to start for our team personally. And Sterling, Grealish, Foden, Jesus is predicted attacking 4. I think Foden's an interesting one because a lot of people have been looking at Foden. He's at a 62% chance to start. Objectives map. Hey mate, having a bench dilemma. I've got to bench 2 out of Saka, Reece James, Laporte and Matip. So just going over what we were saying before, I'd bench Laporte because I think he's highly unlikely to play in this game week. I think they'll just go Rodri and Ake as their centre-backs. So definitely bench Laporte, and then between Saka, Reece James and Matip. Honestly, I'd bench Saka because I think Matip is a high chance of starting, and Southampton away is a decent opportunity for a clean sheet. And Reece James as well is predicted at big points against Leicester. He's the highest single game week player for predicted points this week. And Bukayo Saka, 1 assist in the last 3 weeks is not the strongest, and I think Newcastle's side is obviously much improved for the one earlier in the season. Newcastle playing at home, it could be a tough one for Arsenal. But I'd go with Reece James and Matip. Liverpool's defence has been very solid this year, and Reece James has got the chance at both ends. Especially considering how poor Leicester's defence has been recently, I wouldn't put it past him to go to goal and assist with his high offensive line.
Gab's message. So everyone, I'm going to be taking over for a bit. I don't really know what to say. Yeah, any questions, chuck them in the chat. Let me know what rank you guys are at so far this year, or whether you're inside top 100k or not. Let us know where you're at. I'm on 170 points in your mini league. I don't care about rank. Think about Tev, Robbo, Salah. Thoughts? Yeah, that seems like I wouldn't have an issue with that. Those transfer plans. Zaha Madison. Oh. Let's have a look at any Leicester players in the squad. No, let's have a look at the fixtures. Leicester are facing. I'd probably Madison's probably a better pick for this fixture right now. Yeah, I mean Villa can be a good side. Solomon, Perky to Son, Zaha, and Richarlison from -4. Yeah, I'd take that. Any other play apart from Zaha, Diaz, Jota, Madison, Barnes, or is Zaha the best option? Well, I mean, Zaha's got the double of Villa, Everton. Obviously, Everton have been shocking, so I would stick with Zaha. Our captain Vardy will he play both games? We can have a look at starting chance percentage for Jamie Vardy. Let's go with Leicester. So, by the looks of things, Jamie Vardy is predicted 86% chance of starting versus Watford. And then when he plays Chelsea away, he's predicted 87. So I think that's roughly the highest that it usually gets to. So yeah, by the looks of things, it does look like he's got a high chance of starting. Do I take -4 for Zaha or De Bruyne? I would take it for Zaha. I personally think West Ham are going to play super defensively in this game. I'm not really predicting it to be a high-scoring game anyway. So, I mean, that being said, they obviously West Ham knocked City out of FA Cup, so that game was fairly low-scoring as well. So yeah, I'd definitely go with Zaha on that. I would start Saka, Pope or Martinez. If you're seriously making a goalkeeper transfer in GameWeek 37, then let's have a look. Filter by goalkeepers. Martinez, Crystal Palace, Nicholas Pope. Have I already passed him? Must have passed him already. Cruel Forster. Am I blind? Can I not find Nick Pope? Let's have a look on here. No, I'd go with Martinez for sure. I mean, look at Burnley almost getting relegated, so we're getting Richarlison, Zaha, and Son be better than getting Son and Vardy in. Oh, I'm not sure about that. I'll probably still go with Richarlison, Zaha. Mikalenko, Gordon, I'd go with Gordon. Zaha, Coutinho, Zaha. Reece James or João Cancelo? I would go with Reece James. I would honestly see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against Leicester than City against West Ham. Downgrading Salah to Zaha, is it worth using 6.5 mil in the bank to get Kane or Vardy or a Richarlison for a hit? I'd go with Kane. Can you make a wild card team, please? Yeah, we'll be able to make a wild card team quickly. We will construct that in a bit. Let's go to some of the questions, and then we will construct that. Gordon and Emerson or Diaz and Mikalenko? I'll go with Gordon and Emerson.
Okay, so if we had to make the wildcard team, and we'll just pull up the fixtures here for the rest of the season.
You can do it right here.
That's right, that's right. Alright, so with our current team, goalkeepers, I mean, you stick with Schmeichel. I assume you don't have a bench boost or a wild card left, so you can either go Schmeichel against, he's got Watford, Chelsea and Southampton, or you can go Aston Villa, Crystal Palace at home, Burnley at home. Maybe you could go for Martinez instead, but I'm going to leave Schmeichel there for now because I think Matty Cash is a great pick. So we get rid of Laporte, put in Cash. Otherwise, you could potentially go Tyron Mings as well, but I think that could be a bit excessive. Otherwise, I'm happy with Alonso and Thiago Silva. You could go Alonso and Reece James potentially. So if you get rid of Reece James, Thiago Silva, sorry, go with Reece James. For the other defenders, Matip, we can get rid of Matip and Robertson. Also with the sub keeper, just go as cheap as possible. Ben Foster's nice at his price. You could go Mikalenko there. Or less defender, most likely not. I'll go look for some Everton defenders. The defense isn't the most solid. Mikalenko at 4.9. What's his? So coming off 14 points. Got a goal and a clean sheet. Fair play. And then Everton have got 2 clean sheets in the last 3 games as well, which is not bad. And then Crystal Palace defense as well. You could go for a Crystal Palace option depending on who's the cheapest in terms of price. Just go Crystal Palace. Looking at the defenders, Anderson's likely to start. Ward should start as well. I'll just check out the first game against Aston Villa, who's a likely starter. Anderson's got 100%. You could go Klein at right back. May offer a bit more potential and is fairly cheap. Or Tyke Mitchell as well. He's also predicted to start. Just for potentially locking in the minutes, you can go Anderson at 4.6. Take your pick in the Crystal Palace defence though if you want to go a bit riskier and go for a fullback. Otherwise, I'm happy with Mason Mount and Wilfried Zaha. I think in the midfield is not the worst options. Son, I think it'd be necessary to get rid of Kulusevski, keep Gordon there. Potentially on a wild card, you wouldn't go De Bruyne. So you go Son in the midfield. And I get rid of Crystal Palace filter. Son in the midfield, and you could go Diaz as well, because he should be starting this week and next week potentially as well. That leaves you with our front three: Watkins, Kane, Dennis. Kane is a good pick. I think Jamie Vardy's an excellent option as well. Watkins has got the double game week. So with Son in the Tottenham team, for a Tottenham asset already, go Jamie Vardy. He should be 10.3. That leaves us with 10.6 remaining for the final player. So depending on your squad value, you maybe could go Kane and the value that you've built up in him. Otherwise, I think Watkins is a nice option. Aston Villa's got the double game week. Tottenham against Norwich away as well on the last week of the season. So depending on how you can play, you can either go, let's see, if you go Kulusevski and Kane, could that work? Love the autocorrect on the iPad.
On the iPads.
Kane there, and you could go Kulusevski there. Depending on what way you want to go, whether you prefer Kane or Kulusevski. Kane or Son. I think that there's a decent wildcard team. And then obviously you got your different options as well. You can go Richarlison. If you wanted to go Son in the midfield instead of Kulusevski, you can go Son and Richarlison. That's also another good option. Sure. Gordon and Emerson or Diaz and Mikalenko. Probably Diaz and Mikalenko. FPL 8, hello mate, would you keep Saka or sell for Zaha? I'd arguably sell for Zaha. I think he's got some excellent fixtures and he's been in great form. We are coming up to the deadline fairly shortly in just 10 minutes. Son or a Richarlison captain. I like the double game week options, and I think Everton have got a good double game week, so maybe go a bit differential, send it with Richarlison. Cash, Mikalenko, Coutinho, Vardy, best captain differential. I go Jamie Vardy. According to Fantasy Football Fix, he's the highest predicted point scorer for this game week, and is one of the highest predicted point scoring players actually for the rest of the season. Emerson Royale, Luka Dean, already got cash. Considering that you already got cash, I'd probably go Emerson Royale just because after this week, Aston Villa face Man City, which is almost a confirmed non-clean sheet, which already takes up 2 of your bench positions. What do you think about Arsenal signing Jesus? I think it'd be a great signing for them for sure. Coutinho or De Bruyne for a free hit? On a free hit, arguably Coutinho could be better with the 2 fixtures, and West Ham away is not the easiest fixture to get attacking returns in, and he may be on some reduced minutes for this game. And as we touched on before, I think Richarlison is a good pick. Maddison, I'm out. I mean, Maddison does have the double game week, but his minutes have been very weird recently. He's been getting benched a fair bit. We'll just check out his minutes in the last few games. So yeah, 90, 0, 0, 90. So it's a little bit hit and miss. He did have a 30-minute game there against Newcastle. Obviously, with the double game week, he's got good fixtures. Watford away and Chelsea away is nice, and then Southampton at home to end the season is also nice as well. I think Mason Mount, I will just pull up the predicted lineup for this week for Leicester, their first game against Watford. Maddison has an 81% chance to start, which is promising, and then in their second game against Chelsea, currently an 88% chance. So, yes, depending on whether they want to play Maddison and Barnes, because those are the 2 that seem to be getting benched. If Maddison is playing both the games in the double game week, then arguably you could go for Maddison if you want to take that risk with him starting. But I think Mount's form is also fairly impressive. Vardy, Coutinho, Mikalenko, Cash, captain. As I said before, I'd go Vardy as your captain. I think he's a great differential pick. He has got the highest predicted points for this game week. 2 fairly strong fixtures. We've got him here in our free hit draft / wildcard draft team. Strong double game week, and then Southampton at home as well. I think is good. I think that Watford away fixture is going to be great for him for potentially snagging a goal. Rabi, high Salah, Laporte, Pukki, DeCane, Cash, and Zaha with a -8. If I do this, I will have Trent, Nketiah, and Dewsbury Hall. Should I do it? Well, Nketiah, I'd assume would start against Newcastle. Just double check. Yeah, so he is the predicted starting striker. And then, Salah and Laporte both won't play, and I think Pukki's not the best option either. Kane's a great pick, Cash is a great pick, and Zaha's a great pick. So I definitely would be taking the -8 to bring in those 3 players. Yeah, I'll go with that. Shiraz, you're good, bro. It's alright, man. Oh, in the bench. Yeah, mate. 100% go for it. Take the -8. Bring in Kane, Cash, and Zaha. I think, 3 very strong picks for sure. So, we had to build that team again. Go Son in the midfield, like so. And then you go Richarlison up top. That team isn't very expensive. So, even we've got 3 mil in the bank and we don't have the highest squad value. So, you could potentially make upgrades to certain positions if you don't like that team. Maybe you can get rid of Mason Mount As we touched on before, maybe Madison could be a better pick, especially on a free hit for this week. Obviously, you go the double. I mean, that's not a bad team there. And yeah, it just depends whether you want to go Schmeichel in goals as well for Leicester or risk the double, the Villa double game week and hope that they perform well defensively. X-Pro game X, Ings and Sterling, or Vardy and Zaha, or Ings and Zaha. By the way, I have Barnes. I go Vardy, and I think I go Zaha. Even though you already have Barnes, Vardy I think will score lots of points this week. And yes, I'd definitely be looking to have Zaha in for sure. So I invited to pick 2, I go Vardy, Zaha. Should I sell Watkins to Vardy? That's an interesting one. I don't think Watkins will play against Palace at home. I think he's just going to be facing Burnley at home this week. And then realistically, if you're Watkins only, you're probably going to be benching him against Manchester City away. He actually does have a 76% chance to start according to Fix for the first game, which is a bit higher than it was a couple of days ago when I checked. So looking at that now, I think he may be a chance, even if he doesn't start, he may be a chance for some minutes. So, basing off that, assuming that Watkins plays both games in the double game week, I keep him. And then you should maybe switch to Vardy the week after. But that is a tough one because you have to factor in the -4 points as well for the value of a transfer. Play Foster or Ramsdale are worth a -4 replacement. Maybe not on a goalkeeper taking that -4, even though you've got Ramsdale against Newcastle. I'd definitely start Ramsdale for sure against Newcastle compared to the Watford defence against Leicester. Do I think going to a double game week goalkeeper for a -4 is worth it? Potentially not, because if that team gets a clean sheet, it essentially just removes their clean sheet with the value of the transfer. And if Arsenal get a clean sheet, then you'd be better off just keeping Ramsdale. And Ramsdale should make some saves. Good midfielder under 10.7 million. Well, pretty much any of the midfielders here on our screen, obviously apart from Son, Maddison, Zaha, Luis Diaz should start this week. Anthony Gordon's a cheap option, like a very, very cheap option that should be playing both games. Any of those players there, I think, would be very strong picks for sure. And yeah, it's just up to you with your personal preference. Looking at the highest predicted point plays for this week, the midfielders. Amongst midfielders, Zaha's the highest. Coutinho's another one, the second highest. Anthony Gordon's actually the third highest predicted scoring midfielder. And then Son, Maddison. So yeah, just based off that, you'd like Zaha and Coutinho, and yeah, as I said before, Gordon is a very good value pick. So I believe it should be 2 minutes until the deadline now, so make sure everyone locks in their transfers, locks in the team. Definitely don't want to hit confirmed transfers on the 32 points. Let's just make sure. This is our team that we're going to be going with. Of course, if anyone hasn't seen, double checking. Yeah, everything's locked in. Looks good to go. Gordon or Coutinho. I think Coutinho's probably got a high chance of attacking returns, even though he's a bit more expensive. You like him. Start Reece James or Robertson. Tough pick. That is a very, very tough pick. Honestly, Robertson's not a bad option. I think in terms of the clean sheet potential, Liverpool may be slightly higher. Chelsea's defence has been a bit leaky recently, and Leicester have been scoring goals at least. So yeah, quickly, if I could pick one, Robertson, go. That's what I'd say. So with 1 minute to go until deadline, thank you so much for everyone that has tuned into the stream. Best of luck for GameWeek 37 and for the rest of the season for that matter. We will be uploading a couple of videos hopefully over the next couple of weeks to bring home the rest of the season, and there'll be another deadline stream next week as well. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.
World Cup finished. So look out for those videos.